Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 19 here on the Hagenstedt map. Let's get back to reliving the glory days. Okay, it's looking an awful lot like 6 cows require a lot of grass. There, right, we've now fed the 6 cows and they are completely full, 21,000 litres of grass. We're probably not going to use a lot of that because I am going to let the grass that we've got. I'm going to fold that up. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Before I do anything else, I'm going to go this way. Because I need to sell that one. So let's just first, we want to have a look in here. And I want to have a look at Tedders. The cheap one that we got there is 11,000. And then there's a few other. We got the Alpine pack in here. 7,000 in there. Some really cheap stuff here. So, you know, 11 grand, 7,000 right there. It's 4.5 meters wide. Doesn't matter how big it is. It can be a little tiny thing like that. That's absolutely fine. And then we got windrowers in here. It's 10 grand for that one. 23. It's a bit, 10 grand is more than enough for what we want right now. We've got a smaller one there, which is a front-mounted one, and that's also a front-mounted one. That's 15,000. These two options here can sort of put 2 rows into, well, pretty much the same as that one can. So we've got some more options here. This one is 3.4 meters wide. This one's 4.6. I'll probably go with that one. Although I kind of like the idea of using some of the Alpine stuff. That one's 18,000. That's 5,900 at 3.4. This one here, 3.5 meters wide, picks up and then dumps out to the side, and you can change I'm assuming you change direction and everything on it, the same as you can with the Merge Max one that we've got, which is that one there. I assume you can change direction on this one so that we can get like a double row going. I've already got something for gathering up the hay and putting it in for the cows, so I only need to get those 2, and a front-mounted mower. I only need one front-mounted mower. I didn't actually get it. I have got another mower option that I could have gone and used. For mowers, we got a 3.6 meter one that was back there. I could get that disc bind there. It's 4 meters wide. I actually quite like the idea of starting this. Oh, that's 4.3. I was going to say, I quite like the idea of starting with the trailed one, but that one there I think might be the one. We'll go with that one there. It's only 16,000. Right. Let's buy the things that we want first. So we got 16 grand for that one. That's the cheapest one. 22k. I don't know if I want to be mowing faster than that. Curious if we can actually mow, because it will go all the way up to 29k. That is very, very fast for mowing. Like, mowing happens pretty quick anyway, but that is extremely fast. 29k. I don't know if it's actually going to be able to cut at that kind of speed. I'm going to put it at 25. I know that 25 can cut. You know what? Let's go for it. Let's try it. So we'll buy that one. There, 16,000. Yes. And then we'll go back, and we'll go into here, and then we'll go to the Tedders next. That one's 11,000. The Alpine pack, that's 7,000 there. That's the cheapest one, and we can afford that one. We will take this one on up as well. Whether or not that's going to work at 26k, I don't really know, but we'll give it a go. So 7,000. I've now got no money left until I sell our machine over there. So despite the fact they've got a bit of money in there, don't need the tractor here, so I'm going to reset that now straight to the shop. It's going to be our next little task, so let's come down here, and right, so I'll take you. Reset, yes, okay. That one, yes, okay. And that one, reset, yes, okay. That will allow me to go and sell that machine back to the shop, which will allow me to go and buy the other machines. Now, once we've transported them from the yard over to the cattle yard, we won't need to move them again. They will be able to stay over there. The only one that will travel between the two will be the forage wagon that we'll be using to gather up our hay that we're going to make. And we'll worry about that afterwards. So we're going to dump you off there like that. It's just the windrower that I still need. So I'll go like that. Repair you. Yes, there's 33,133. Yes, I do definitely want to sell that one. And then I want to go back into the shop, and I want to go to windrowers in here, and I want to get that one. I know that's a bit more expensive. It's 3.5. This is only 2.5 meters, whereas that one's 3.5 meters. But I don't know why I like the idea of that one more than I like the idea of this one. And I'll probably get that one to start within the Erlingrat series. So we'll go with this one, and we can see what this one's like. We'll also increase the speed of it. There, like that. Right. Buy. 15 grand. Here we go. 15,000 plus a 375 delivery charge as well. I think that's all of it. We got the mower, we got the rake, and we've got the turner as well, the hay turner. So we got everything that we're going to want. We got 19 grand left, which means that we've got the money to go and buy some more cows. We can leave the cows exactly as they are right now. I've got crops in the field that are one growth stage away from finishing up. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to leave the front weight down here. I don't need that one at the moment. Drop you down there, and then I can get the mower, and I'll get the hay turner as well. So I'll be able to pick up both of those. So actually the mower is that way on to start with, because we haven't unfolded it. So I can carry both of them in one move over to the farm, and then we can come back again, and I can move the rake. Pick you up like that. Yes, you do pick up properly. Ideal. Right, that's good. So I get these over, and that's going to be a single trip, and then I've got the rake down there. I'll probably want the front weight on. I suppose I don't technically need the front weight with our forage wagon just for doing the first time. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to fast forward time a little bit now. In the hope that we can get another growth stage. The grass is not at the final growth stage for grass, and I would like it to be just for doing this. We're not going to be applying fertilizer up there unless we can get a slurry tanker a little bit later and start using that one to spread a bit of slurry onto the grass fields. We won't worry about bringing it over this way and spreading it on these fields, because it takes ages to go and do that. But if we can use it on the grass field that we got right there, and then this field 30 that we got just up here, it's already planted with grass, that one we will look at buying as we expand our cattle and we need more grass. We'll look at buying this one, and I will plough this one out, and I probably will plough out that bit of road there as well, so that we go up close to the river, and we'll plough out a good chunk of it up this side as well. So there's quite a bit extra there that we'll be able to go and use. Grass has grown in part of it. We've got a partial growth stage gone and happened. I hate it when it does that. I really wish it wouldn't do that. Right, we will lower you down. Like that, and let me just... It's still ticking through. This hasn't changed, but I've got a growth stage on the grass that has gone. Oh, yes, I think maybe this one has changed. Right. Well, anyway. I got a partial growth stage has happened on there, and I think we will actually stop now at 20 to 2. The crop up here hasn't had a growth stage on it. We go to fruit types over here. We're nearly ready to harvest, but at 20 to 2, we won't actually be harvesting until tomorrow. So we're going to unfold this one. I'm going to bring you over, and I'm going to start you mowing on here. So I might just get another tractor to bring the other machines up while this one's doing the mowing. I'll bring you into there. And now we've got hired help, and hired help is actually going to do the job. The only downside to hired help doing the job is that it does, of course, go and leave... it drives on the rest of the grass. It will leave the bits on the end because we don't actually... they're not actually fields. And at the moment, that's not going to be a problem for us. That won't make any difference to how this works out. But when we get to doing this a bit later on, and we need that extra little bit of grass, then we probably will come along and plough it out a bit, just so that we can definitely make full use of everything that's going on here. So I'm on 31,000 euros now. We'll let you keep going. And the mower is working quite nicely at the increased speed, which I like. So you there, I'll unhitch that one. And I'm going to take off the front weight so that I can take both machines from here out to the cattle yard, because we're going to need them. So I will, let's get to you, we'll lower that front weight down. And we can get this one here hooked on, and then we can get the forage wagon hooked on as well. So there's that one. Looking good. Why has that not got a PTO shaft on it? Oh! It's because it doesn't use a PTO. It uses oil. That's why. It's oil only on that one. And then we get the forage wagon here as well. And we'll take both of these over to the farm a second. And then the mowing should be nearly done. I can put this tractor going with the rake. I mean, really, we can put a little we could buy a little tiny tractor and do that, but I don't really want to. I'd like to use the money. Well, use the money to buy cows, and then just kind of like expand things a little bit as well. We need straw storage. Like, we can do this with hay rather than silage. I was looking at silage as the option, but I'm kind of liking the idea of doing this with hay. But I still need something to store the hay in. I can go and buy the Stevie mod, which is the hay dryer, which I don't know if you noticed. I did have a look at it a little bit ago. It might be an episode or two ago for you now. If you have a look in here, in that one, in Global Company, I've got that hay dryer right there. This is a modified one, so you don't actually need to put the wood chips in. It doesn't require any input. You can just, it's electrically run. You just drop grass into it, and it converts it into hay. Now, it's great and all. But kind of like, and then you got the fermenting silo. It does much the same. You put grass in and it produces silage, just as a one-off little building. But I kind of don't want to use these for this series. I like the idea of having to put it through a clamp, or at least to start with, I do. I might get a bit fed up with that after a bit, in which case I will change it over and build the fermenting thing. I'm using the fermenting one in the Estancia Lapacho. For silage, the only problem I got with silage is, like, you put it into the clamp and that, it's then getting it out of the clamp. And it's a time-consuming process to get the stuff out of the clamp. And, yes, I realise that is quite an accurate depiction of real life, but that's one of those real-life things that we don't necessarily want replicated in the game. We would, well, I'm not going to say we, because I know that many of you would probably actually like to see that. I don't. I'm not particularly interested in that. I know what it's like to take silage out of a clamp, and I don't need to be replicating that on a regular basis in order to properly enjoy playing this game. Right, I'm just going to put you down there, and I'm going to bring this one over, and I'm going to drop it down there for now. I'll probably... Well, there's no probably. I will leave these all machines when we're done with it. I'll leave them the other side of the cattle yard over there, because we've got plenty of room for them over there, and then I don't have to go and move them all later when I come along to put in the silo for storing the straw, which is going to be over that side. That's where we're going to be dropping that great big silo that we're going to use. So here we can put this one. I'll get this one going immediately. No messing around. That one unfolded. A little tiny machine. Although it must be said, I have spent many an hour using a machine like this. Right, little tiny hay turners like this. I have spent many hours using machines just like this. Exactly like this. So we get that one going right there, and press H and off he goes. And at 26k, he's doing a wonderful job. And he's able to do it as well. I like that. It makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. What I will do a moment is I will just bring that back, because it's not going to take much to just change this over. So you right there, I'm going to bring you over here. And then I'm going to lower that mower down. And I'm going to go and do that right there. And then I'm going to whiz up the other end, and I'm going to do much the same down there. And then I'm going to take that hay turner, and I'm going to do a single pass along the bottom end of the field, so that we get all of these extra little bits that we've now gone and cut through. Whiz you around like that. Breakneck speeds, and lower you down here. There, we'll push you. I know it's left a little tiny strip there. Honestly, I don't care about that. That's fine. And you will go up there to finish that one off like that. Right, that's perfect. So then I can go back to this one here. Bring you out like that, and lower you and start you up. And then just kind of bring you over like this. And what I'm going to want to do here, actually, is... Actually, I want to just lower that down for a little bit more. Is now I'm just going to want to make sure he's overlapping the very edge of the field a little bit, so that I get all of the hay. So I bring that across there like that, and I will do a pass there. Excellent. And then I can bring it over this way, and I can start you running up here. The other end of the field I will do... I'm just going to leave the hired help running now, and then the little extra bit across the other end of the field, we'll move that in a bit. So we don't need to do any more right now. It's not going to affect anything. We'll be able to make enough hay from doing this to provide for the cows, at least to start with. We won't need anything extra on top of what we're doing right now. So I'm going to bring you back into there. This is what I despise about this mower, right? And they said that they acknowledged that this is something that I was very disappointed in with Giants. They acknowledged that this was a bug, but they said they weren't going to fix it. If I press V to lower it down, it won't let me. I've got to unhitch it right up in the air like that and just dump it. And I hate that it makes us do that. And it is a bug, and they knew that it was a bug, and they said they weren't going to fix it. It wasn't worth the bother. To me, that's a little... That's, you know, there's a bit of sloppiness going on there. I didn't like that. Like, they could have done so much better on that one, and they just chose to ignore it instead and stick their heads in the sand. And I wasn't impressed with that at all. Right, 29,700 right there. That gives us a total of 17 cows. Confirm. That's more like it. And I'm going to... Let's just check in here a minute and go to cows right there. So we got 666 hours before the next animal. And we're on 30%. We have 17 in here. Now, I think that it'll need a tick to update. And then that number will actually change now that we've got 17 cows in here. We got milk. We got slurry. We have no manure because we have no straw. And we've got grass in there. And that, I think, is wrong for... Oh, no, it's not. That was completely full, wasn't it? And now we've got 17 cows. That's changed. So let me now speed this up. And I'm going to speed this up until 3 o'clock. That'll be enough to let the cows be doing something. Let's go over. Have a look at this one. We'll watch this one doing a little bit of turning up and down the field. So you don't need a front weight on something like this. So it's missed a little tiny bit of grass just there. It's also missed a bit out on the side over there, which means I got to go back over and do that as well. There's a bit of sloppy work going on here. There's a little bit of sloppy work going on here. Right, so that's taken us through until 3 o'clock. I'll slow that down again, and now we're going to have a look at the cows. There we go, 235 hours and we will have a new cow come along. So that's 10 days. We're going to want to speed that up slightly. And we do about 2 days per crop. So we got 5 harvests there before we get a new cow. I think we could definitely do better than that. But it's this bit right here. We're going to go from 25% effectiveness up to 75% effectiveness. Now, we're on 30% there, which it's kind of missed another little bit. This is because of how narrow this one is. That's why. It's because of how narrow it is. That's a little bit disappointing, that is. Oh well, that's just the way it is. That's just the way things are. Let's go and put some water in here a minute. Fill that one up like that. That's going to fill all the way up to the top. We've got these going. We've got 259 litres of milk in there that we'll be able to go and get in a little while. That one can just stay there for a minute. I've got a little bit of extra work that I'm going to need to do. I've got another pass I've got to do there and another one over there, plus there's some extra bits on the end. So having this really small alpine tedder on here, it's not all it's cracked up to be. It's missing little tiny bits, and that is... I'm a little bit disappointed with that. It's got to be said. I am a bit disappointed. I thought that it would be better than that, but I mean, never mind. We can work with it. We know that we do get occasionally get problems with some of these things. So you know, if that's what we got to work with, then that's what we got to work with. I think what I will do though is I'll bring you out like that. Now I'm just going to stop the hired help a second. And I'm going to bring it over here. And I'm going to just manually do that bit there. And then come over. Because I suspect that I've got to manually do this bit up. And I also want to get that piece down the other end of the field. So I can start working on just tidying everything up here. Now, I was actually thinking I'd go and get the rake, the front-mounted rake, and put it onto our tractor there. But I'm not going to do that. I will wait until this one is finished doing the tedding. So you can go up through there. And there's 3 passes left with the tedder. That's what I'm putting my money on. That's what I reckon that we've got left. 3 passes left, and then all of this job is done. And all that will remain is the raking. So this one can then take over doing the raking. And then when it's done that... like, as soon as he starts on the raking, I'll then be able to get the forage wagon over there and get that one started and start getting that one picking up. No, we don't even need to use the rake if we don't want to. We could do it just a little... not a little. It is a fair bit slower to go and use the forage wagon without raking everything up into windrows, but it is possible to go and do. And I know from previous comments and pictures I've seen that there are actually people that watch his channel that do that. They don't generally use a windrower. They will just put the hired help going with picking it up, not in windrows. And yeah, it takes a little bit longer, but they said it does seem to work. I've never actually tried it. Curious now, like how well that will work with the hired help. Just setting it going. I think that they said that they do need to like do whether there was something different they needed to do in order to be able to get the hired help to properly pick it up as it goes across the fields, but it did generally work. This I'm thinking is gone over too far. Yeah, I thought he might have. There's a slight problem on the width of this machine. It's not set properly for the the hired help. When you're looking at a mod, there are 2 settings on it in the actual model. You have a width for the working width of the machine, and then you have a width for the hired help working width of the machine. And you usually set the hired help width a little bit smaller than the actual width of the machine to allow for the game overlaps and stuff. And occasionally you'll find mods that are made with the hired help width set exactly the same as the working width of the machine, and that will almost invariably give you those little tiny strips that are left behind right there. And also on our other machine, our seed drills that we've got, that also seems there's a bit of an issue that's coming up on those as well, isn't it? So that's where that kind of comes from, is that the hired help working width is set exactly the same width as a machine, and because the game gives you little bits of overlap here and there, then it kind of doesn't like it. Now, there was one thing that I wanted to test, and that was this. I'll get this one hooked in, and we'll just see if we can have hired help do this. I'm thinking that we probably won't be able to have the hired help actually do it, but, I mean, we might be able to. And while I'm here, I can just run along this top end and gather up that little bit right there. And then spin round and gather up the rest of the little bit that's right here. And then what I want to do, so I'll turn that one off. You know, bring it in over here. I'm just going to do a test anywhere down through the middle, and I'm going to go there like that. Hide help. Okay, hide help doesn't work on that. I didn't actually really expect hired help to be working on there, so I'm not quite sure how they do it, whether they actually do it manually and go along and pick it up without setting windrows. But I have seen screenshots of people doing that without using windrows, because, you know, they find it just as easy to do it like that as they do with setting the windrower going and then going back over it again. So people do have issues with it. Personally, I don't. I find it a lot easier just to windrow it all up and then follow the windrows along. But if you're using like some of the balers and some of them, that's one thing that I did find particularly disappointing with the Class DLC. They had a beautiful quadrant baler on there, and the quadrant baler had a pickup width on it that was so narrow it was effectively useless. You couldn't go and use the machine on anything at all. Like, it literally just would not pick up. It wouldn't go and, like, you send it up a windrow and it would leave bits out on each side of it. And they didn't bother even correcting it. They said, no, it needs to be like that. Well, no, it's wrong. It doesn't need to be like that. If it's not working, then it's wrong. Okay, we've got toggle work modes. We've got left swath right there. So we'll start that one up. He's tipping it out that side like that. Now, if I go Control Y like that, we've got the right-hand swath that is moving it over that way. So you got left swath or you got right swath like that. Those are your only options. I'll lower that bad boy down like that. I'll bring it in and... Seriously? Why are you starting and stopping? Are you going to do that all the way down across the field? No, you're not. I thought for a minute it was going to be really difficult to do that all the way down across the field. So there we have the front-mounted rake. It's doing 27k, which is a ridiculous speed, but quite frankly, I'm happy with that. I am absolutely fine with that. And he'll come over round. He should turn. And then you go back up through the same windrow. And like double that one over. This is looking good. This is looking really good. I'm pleased with this. Unfortunately, folks, that is all we have got time for today. A massive thank you to everybody who has earned their way into the Great Book of Names. To find out some more details about all the names coming past, please head into the description and click on the link to the Discord. It's a link to another video. The link is on the other video. Please also consider checking out the links there for Nitrado, who provide gaming servers for games like Farming Simulator, Minecraft, Ark, and several others. And there's also Fanatical, who will help support your gaming habit by providing you with cheap games and also giving me a small commission on anything that you buy using my link. If you've enjoyed this particular video, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.